Booting up system. Loading.
Gabriel Valentine.
Loading.
Dan Brozo. This is the Digital Lizards of Doom show live at Meltdown.
Howdy, y'all D-Lod watchers. Thank you for tuning into the D-Lod show.
That sounded like an intro that someone would greet you with at like Knott's Berry Farm or something like that.
Or like the Cracker Barrel or something.
Thank you for joining us today.
Howdy, y'all. Want some mashed taters?
And your grits?
Yeah. Ooh, mashed taters and grits?
I know, dude. Don't get me started right
Let's
now.
get some of that.
What's up, dudes?
Hi,
How's
guys.
it going?
We're dragging booty today, dude. We're not gonna fib nothing today.
But we're just really stoked because we get to go to a super awesome place.
We're
filming on
location.
On
today.
location. We're gonna do a
It's
little
gonna be wild.
magical transportation, whatever.
Yeah, it's called getting in a car and then driving.
Always has to ruin the illusion.
No, that's pretty magical. Think about the technology that requires to get in a car and drive somewhere.
Whatever.
That's so magical.
Cool.
I think that's more magic than actual magic.
Okay, that's cool.
Listeners
Science.
at home, ask your buddy if he agrees that it's magic to be in a car.
But yeah, we're cruising over to Tabletop Commons in
Yes.
San Diego, North Park, San Diego, in a few minutes. But before we
I don't
do
even
that,
know what that is. You didn't tell me what it even is.
Before we do that, let's go get to some comic books.
Let's go. Let's
Get
drive.
to.
Let's go drive to a comic book.
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Dizzy Doom's Comic Boom, brought to you by
Yes.
ComicsFix.
Are we doing sunglasses today?
Yeah, let's do sunglasses today.
All right.
It's really bright in
Get
here.
that into it. Okay.
You
You want me to start?
dude.
Comics?
Go for it.
Okay.
What do you got?
So let me
give it to
I
me.
first want to say, let me get this going real quick, because you got to see my eyes right now. My entire life, after about age 15, I've always been asked if I'm stoned at places. Like, I'll be at dinner and the waitress will be like, "Are you stoned right now?" And like, yeah,
Makes sense. I can
smoke
see it.
weed sometimes.
Yeah.
But like, I'm never on drugs when people ask me if I am. And it happened today. Somebody asked me if I was stoned today. He's
Oh.
like, "Are you stoned?" And I'm like, "Nah, dude,
Well,
I'm not." So my whole life I've been plagued by that. I think it's because I have sleepy eyes. Look, guys.
I think it's because you look like you're stoned.
It might be that I'm just perma-stoned. Maybe I just like, smoke some
Perma-stoned.
bad weed with like some,
Perma-stoned.
yeah, some paraquat in it. Dude, that's a reference nobody that watches this is gonna get.
Paraquat?
That's
Is that like Shrek or
paraquat.
something?
It's the poison that they put in weed, supposedly like back in the 70s, I think.
Oh, Reefer Madness.
Yeah. Well, no, that's a totally different thing.
Okay.
They apparently put poison
me.
into weed so that they could like hurt people that smoke, because they wanted to like.
That's
They
awesome.
wanted to scare people into not smoking.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's weird. Big Lebowski has a reference of it. That's probably the only reason I know what it is. So, anyways,
What
on
a great film.
that same thing, so somebody asked me if I was stoned today, and I was like, okay, I'm going through the comics on ComicsFix, a great app. Check it out. Sign up.
Do your
It's
thing.
rad. And there's a comic called DMT, and I'll be honest, I had an experimental phase in my life where I tried
With
a lot of weird stuff.
With a lot of dudes.
Yeah, got with a lot of dudes in that time, and like animals and other things too. But no, I'm talking about like I experimented with some drugs in my formative years, but I've never tried DMT, and it's always been like this like mysterious, like kind of scary and like strange thing. So this comic, it's like a journey through a DMT trip. And it's really interesting.
Oh, nice.
You know what I don't like is when I hate this when you're like talking about like a show or a movie, and somebody that like is just a total square is like, "How much weed do you think they had to smoke to come up with this script?" And you're like, "Nah, people are just creative sometimes." In fact, I'm like less creative if I'm ever like on a drug of some sort.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah, so that's just stupid. But anyways, that's what it says in the description. It's like, if you ever wondered what it's like to be on drugs, read this comic. And I don't agree with that. Like, no, it can never come close to that. But basically, it's going through like the phases of this trip. And I have an ex-girlfriend that was super into DMT for a while, years ago. And she would like explain to me things that would happen on it, and that there are similar things that happen in this.
Huh. Interesting.
Just like the storylines that take place like within it. Like apparently
The artwork looks really cool.
It is really cool, and I'll obviously be showing it right now. But yeah, it's got some trippy visuals.
If you're watching this,
yeah, it's cool. It's surreal. There's a lot of space imagery, which is awesome. Space is real cool.
Nice.
And it's just more than anything, it's just like it's a visual treat, which is what I've been into in comics.
That's the way comics should be, dude.
A visual treat.
A visual treat.
Sometimes I don't even want a story. Sometimes I just want to like kind of like float through a world for a little bit, you know?
It's like culinary food. You know, you get your food, but you also get like the presentation.
Non-culinary food. Like commercial or TV food, you know? You're not supposed to eat it. It's just for looks.
Exactly.
Non-culinary food.
You got it. You got it.
I got it. So this one's really cool. DMT, and since Gabe loves saying the authors of stuff, I'll go back to the beginning. It's by K. Seymour and F. Kiner.
Sweet.
And it's really trippy. And it's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I had some fun reading it. And you have one.
I have one that I'm really stoked about. Smiley, the psychotic button.
What?
Written by Mike
like a
Raitt.
takeoff on Watchmen?
Mike Raitt. Raitt.
Yes.
Artist is Julian Ramirez.
You should get this down before you say it.
Andrew Dollhouse and Marshall Dillon do the letters. It's pretty trippy. So basically,
we picked trippy.
To sum it up, yeah, we did, and we actually didn't plan that. It's kind of cool.
No.
It's about this button that you can kind of guess from the title.
Like a button you wear on a shirt or something, right?
Yeah, like a smiley face button.
Press the red button, like a button.
Yeah, and the button's narrating the story. And the story is basically there's this man who owned a chain of hamburger restaurants, and
Bob's Burgers,
he was just very well liked and loved in the community, did a lot of cool stuff for the community, and a family member grew ill and had cancer, so he makes a pact with the devil to do the devil's bidding, and he goes to all these like satanic rituals and stuff like that, and he kills people and puts their bodies in his burgers, and he becomes like one of the most popular like burger places like, in the world.
So where does the button come in?
Pretty much like McDonald's.
Is the
that's
button
like the demon
manifestation of the devil.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he like is the narrator, and he's telling the story, and that's actually all I can say without giving away.
Oh yeah.
So, but
that actually sounds cool. When
it's really interesting.
Like a psychotic button.
It's really cool, and it's
lame. But no, that actually sounds really cool.
It's like a modern. It reminded me of like a modern day Sweeney Todd kind of thing.
Okay.
It's really cool. Yeah,
I'm into that.
Demon Barber.
Yeah,
but yeah. Check it out.
You know, the Demon Barber.
The Demon Barber.
We're all homies with him.
And check it out on ComicsFix right now.
That's cool, man.
Smiley, the psychotic button. So, want to head over to Tabletop?
Let's get really baked before we go.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's on drugs.
Oh, I thought you meant like cookies,
like potatoes.
Okay, yeah.
You got the tinfoil, I got the taters.
Let's do it.
And we'll find some butter.
Bloop, 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 bloop,
we'll find some butter.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Is that us finding butter? That's not us finding butter. All right, let's go.
Commander Echo's guest of honor.
Our guest has arrived.
Here we are with Commander Echo's guest of honor. Cheers.
Yes,
let's cheers to that. Cheers to Evan. Evan of Tabletop Games, ladies and gentlemen. So,
Tabletop Commons.
Tabletop
Commons.
Son of a gun. I got it right the first time.
We'll forgive you, Gabe, because we're drinking.
Yes.
This is the first episode where we've had drinks in front of us. We're drinking some Mission Hard Root Beer.
You guys are having the Mission Hard Root Beer. I'm having the AleSmith Speedway Stout.
Oh, man.
I have to be honest. I got these guys a little drunk, so now they're going to probably be funnier, hopefully.
We'll
hopefully.
see. We'll all fall asleep halfway through the interview. One of the two.
He's the party pooper. I'm like, I get more amped up as I go along.
Yeah, I'm the party pooper, Gabe.
Anyways, what's up, man? Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be. This is actually my first podcast ever, and I think it's the first time I've ever held a microphone and had a camera pointed at me
at the same time.
Like I told you guys, I'm not sure where to look right now.
Just keep doing that dodgy glare.
You'll confuse everybody. It'll be awesome. Like, what's going on? But
this is a freaking cool spot. There's like, I can't think of anything else in San Diego or honestly like anywhere that is like this. I know like barcades. I know of barcades. We got Coin Op here. I went in Denver. There's a spot called One Up that I really like. But there's a lot of that, but there's not a lot of this.
And you pretty much just hit where this came from. I was sitting at my friend's house. We were playing Warhammer 40K.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I was getting a master's degree in business, and I was applying for part-time internships for free, free unpaid
That's what
internships.
You do,
You gotta do, man.
And after, you're getting your master's degree and you're just applying for shitty jobs. And at some point I was just like, why don't I just open a game store? But opening a game store, I don't know enough about game stores, and I don't know how I would make a game store different or cool. So I said, what if I just sell beer and then have games? And that kind of just snowballed into here we are.
That's rad.
Yeah, so I just kind of basically, I wasn't in the restaurant industry, I wasn't in the bar industry, I wasn't in the gaming industry, and I just cannonballed in, and 4 months ago opened up this space.
This is your first endeavor.
This is my first endeavor ever, and it's been a very seriously stressful 4 months.
That's awesome, man.
I hope soon I'll be able to just hang out and play games with customers, because that's really what I want. And I think the customers really enjoy when I just sit down and hang out with them, and they're
That's
like,
cool.
"Oh, damn, the owner's sitting here hanging out with us." But so often I just have to do things. I have to refill something. I have to go buy something. I have to leave and go do somewhere. So I hope of soon in the next couple months that when I come in, I can just hang out and be a host.
Enjoy it.
And just enjoy the actual bar.
Yeah.
So when you were playing Warhammer, like what were you guys like drinking at the time?
Of course.
And were you just like hanging out and being like, dude, I should open a store.
Pretty
where we
much.
play games and we just drink beer. And
That's
everyone-
the gist of it. And really, if my girlfriend was like, if you don't get a job soon, I'm gonna leave you. So I was like,
Dang,
so I
dude.
gotta
Are you guys
get a
still
job.
together?
Yes, we are
Oh,
still
okay,
together.
sweet. Then I won't say what I was about to say. Keep going.
She's gonna leave you anyway, dude.
So I actually owe a lot to my girlfriend, Leah. I love you.
Yeah, she's really sweet. I like her a lot.
So without her, this probably never would have happened. So a lot of different things like that, and my staff is great. We had some crazy days. One of the stories I like to talk to, like people ask me, what's the craziest thing? The craziest thing is on March 1st, we had nothing. Like nothing. The space had a piano on top of the bathroom. The walls were teal.
top of the
There was a piano on top of the bathroom. It took 4 guys to get down.
That is awesome.
Liberace wallpaper everywhere. And then on April 13th, we opened, less than 6 weeks.
Wow.
Dang.
But our soft open was scheduled for 6:30 p.m. and at 5:30, I didn't have any tables.
Oh
The
man.
tables were not here. The tables were not complete. I had 20 staff members and me waiting for the tables to get here at 5:30, and they strolled in at 6:15 right before people started showing up.
Man.
It was an intense hour of me calling like, where are my tables? Where are my tables?
That's entertainment. That's entertainment right there.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's kick ass. I
and
was gonna ask, did you guys just like get on all fours and like, all right, we're the tables?
I saw you do like a hunker down motion,
Yeah.
and I was like,
I could be a table. Let's do this. That's rad.
that's right. Dude.
Yeah, so luckily everything has gone pretty smoothly, and considering this is my first time ever doing anything like this, I think people would probably say I'm ready to write a book. Like I should be famous.
Dude, I would
soon.
say it's a success. I mean, I was telling you off camera, like before the show, we had such a great response when I announced that you were going to be our guest on the show tonight. And I was just, it's cool, man. I always love that. I mean, we always have pretty good responses with questions people want to know or stuff they want to say to our guests. But it's always feels like very like brotherly or just kind of like I don't know, we're all like unified when it's the same people that are watching the show love what our guest is doing, and you have a lot of supporters out there, man.
And
you
I
have
really
a lot of people that really
appreciate,
support.
the social media aspect. Everybody's been great. Like I've had some consultants come in and say, "Wow, you've had an intense amount of social media presence." And once again,
Like, damn right I do.
my only advertising was a Reddit post on April 1st and a Facebook post on April 1st. And
Awesome.
on April 15th, I had a full house, and that was it.
Dang.
And I think it's not because I'm amazing. It's not because of anything. It's because this bar should have already existed.
Yeah.
It should have existed 5 years ago especially in San Diego. And that's really what kind of pushed me forward was, why isn't it already here? Why didn't somebody else already do this? So a lot of people asked me when I announced in April that I was opening. They were like, why didn't you tell people sooner? Because I didn't want somebody else to like decide they were going to do it. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
That's a good point.
how many times have people heard about Tabletop Commons and gone like, man, what a great idea.
a lot, a lot.
Every time I'm
You always
Yeah.
hear about that. You know, that thing always happens. There's always those things, and then you hear about them, and you're like, man, that just came out? Wow. I can't believe
and
no
people
one's
are
done that yet.
people are still surprised that like they ask me when we open. I tell them 4 months ago. They're like, "What? 4 months ago? Your things seem to be going okay."
I thought at least a year.
No,
myself.
no,
like
no.
I
that's-
honestly thought that too.
Yeah, I mean, I walk around the neighborhood and I try to gauge my crowd versus other crowds, and we're getting there. So hopefully, just some more things that need to happen. One of the things I really want to move forward with is Saturday day, getting more people in here and doing more tournaments and more events, maybe a quiz game show or just something cool to really reach out to basically our demographic. You know, my demographic is basically 20 to 40 nerds, gamers. I was actually surprised by the number of game developers, software developers who have now chosen this as their meetup spot. So just kind of, like I said, it's just a spot that should have already existed, and it's a whole crowd, our entire demographic, that none of these other bars are actually catering to in any way. They're just doing their thing. You know, they have been in business for 20 years, and they just exist, and we just go to their bars. But none of those bars tried to reach out to our demographic, and that's what I'm trying to do, trying to make a nice center for us.
Yeah,
Respect.
We're teamed up with Villainous Lair, obviously, and I talk to them all the time about how much we want to help turn, obviously not us ourselves, but help turn San Diego into that nerd mecca, just kind of like
that it like wants to be. That it really wants to be
bad.
that.
It's
Yeah.
right there. It just needs the people in place to.
It
just
gets
push
all
over
the
edge.
attention about like surfing and beach culture and all this stuff, but no, there's a thriving nerd community here.
It is, yeah.
And
sure.
I want to say at Villainous Lair, I bought a lot of my games here from Allison and Chris and Sarah
Cool.
over at Villainous Lair.
Nice.
I love them, yeah.
And you're right. It's just this whole city, our age group has grown up with Comic-Con. Comic-Con's become such a huge thing.
Yep.
And that's kind of where I said, like, especially in San Diego, this bar should exist.
Comic-Con was overwhelming this year. We were just talking about that, Dan
Yeah.
and I. I mean, I went for my first time on the inside this year. Never been able to go before. Just never had the opportunity.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I was a part of it this year. I was speaking at one of the panels, the Nintendo Street Pass San Diego panel, and it was like I had a great time. I'm not like complaining at all. It was just
It's intense, though.
It was intense, man. Like, okay, first time going and being a part of it and having to meet. We did 6 interviews in one day for the D-Lodge show.
Yep.
With all these different artists and people, and I was just like, by Sunday, I mean, I go over to Dan's house, and I'm like, dude, I did everything I needed to do this morning. I'm good to go, man. Like,
Here,
I'm
take
gonna
my
go
badge.
chill.
I don't even want to go.
I was like, here, take my badge, dude. Like, I'm out.
Well, I've actually also never been able to get in. Because ever since I've never been into like waiting in lines for panels.
Waiting in
Dude,
lines.
cruise with us
suck.
next time, dude.
Yeah.
I was hoping somebody was gonna like, hey Evan, you're in the scene. Let me give you a pass, and they didn't. Nobody gave me
Yeah.
a pass. I'm not happy about
This
that.
year, next year, it'll happen for sure.
Also, what was sad for me is we only opened in April, and Comic-Con is in July or June, or July.
Yeah.
And like all the companies I tried to like, hey, come here, come to this bar. This bar is the demographic.
That's your people, yeah.
They had already made their plans, a year
Yeah.
ago, or they already
Yeah.
did this or that.
That stuff's crazy.
So I couldn't
man.
partner with anybody because they already had all their plans. So hopefully by next year,
Absolutely
I'll
by
have
next year.
time to,
Absolutely, by next
some
year.
connections.
I don't have
maybe.
any doubts about that.
Hopefully, yeah.
And if not, hit us up, dude. We'll figure it out.
Good.
We'll get
We'll
you
make
in.
some stuff happen.
You guys heard that?
Yeah,
It's on camera.
It's
No,
on
I'm not,
record.
yeah, I'm not messing around.
Crap, that's a verbal contract. We're held to that. So which game developers cruise in here?
I actually have a funny story about that too.
Yeah, please.
Before we were open, the floor was being stained. Like I was in this little corner right here, and somebody came up to the windows and started looking in, which wasn't uncommon.
Yeah.
But he was like insistent. He's like looking at me, and I'm like, okay. So I let him in the side
Come
door
on,
here,
weirdo, yeah.
and he looked at my game shelves and everything. We were talking, and he said, "You don't have killer bunnies," and I said, "I hate killer bunnies." And that man was the designer of Killer Bunnies. So before I ever even opened, I insulted a local game developer, local game designer, and I was just like, I had to backpedal really fast. I was like, I only hate it because I lose. Because people keep killing my bunnies. It's not because I hate your game.
He's actually like one of our like most loyal viewers. On the
Is
show,
he?
actually. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, I don't know about this.
So you just double screwed yourself. No.
Oh, that's funny.
Did you end up getting Killer Bunnies though?
I did.
Yeah, it's
I
behind
immediately
us.
bought Killer Bunnies.
I saw it.
There's two of them right there.
Yep.
So yes, I have Killer Bunnies. It is on my shelves.
Yeah. Killer Bunnies.
Check it out. We love you, dude. What's his name?
I forget. I should have
Is it on there?
No.
No, yeah.
You know what this looks like? Do you guys remember that game, Jazz Jackrabbit?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Jazz
Yeah, it
Jackrabbit?
was like a PC game.
It was on PC.
Yeah.
And you like, had this girlfriend with like really ridiculous big boobs, and it was a rabbit, and it was like she was
It was a
super
cartoon.
sexual. And
It was like
really
a Lola Bunny
uncomfortable.
type. Yeah.
Is Lola
Yeah.
Bunny the one from Space Jam and everything?
Yeah. Why is it weird that like that's
Why do we both?
so it's like some of our early sexual fantasies was about a anthropomorphic rabbit.
That's really messed up.
This is weird,
Continue.
guys. Yeah.
So what have in the 4 months like? What have been like some of the craziest things that have happened?
One thing about like owning a bar is you kind of like we got to worry about people getting too drunk, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And I've been worried about like fights, but we haven't really had any fights. But let me tell you, the ones who do fight, they're always
They kick
girls.
ass?
They're
always
always
girls,
girls.
huh?
Never guys. Guys don't fight here. But I mean, there's girls screaming in the streets. There's things
Like you
going
stole
on.
my Pokemon card.
And I don't know if it's just because that's like the biggest lesbian bar like right over there.
Oh, I'm sure that
Gossip
has
Grill.
something to do with it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so just any fights, any
No wonder I
things,
can never pick up
it's
chicks there.
always girls.
Makes so much sense now.
Let's see, crazy. Nothing too crazy, I guess.
Well, that's good though.
yeah,
that's good.
You don't want it to be crazy.
I'll
here's the
probably
thing.
think of something in a little bit.
Here's the thing. I feel like when you make a cool environment, a lot of the stuff I feel like has to do with the environment. I mean, like you get fights at these like
PP or-
MMA bars
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Not that,
Where are
like,
there MMA bars?
everywhere, dude.
Yeah,
You just
get
go
the
in and take
ring
your shirt
you
off,
Get in the ring and start wrestling, have a drink.
it's like you see like tribal clothing or like all these like stuff. And by the way, for people that like watch,
what do you? What kind of
You know
lifestyle
tribal
do you
clothing,
live?
right? That's all that
tribal
MMA guys-
clothing's a thing. I know
Yeah.
tribal tattoos.
no tribal clothing, dude.
Or like
That's
MMA
one of the
shirts.
big
All right, our
Ones
producer's
Tap
shaking his
out.
head off
Yeah, tap
camera.
out. There you go.
All right, dude. Yeah, I don't
But
know
no.
tribal clothing.
Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that you kind of, I feel like a lot of those bars set themselves up for stuff because their
Yeah.
clientele is already angry and angsty and like looking to get into a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a place where people are coming to have fun and enjoy some beer. Chances are, I mean,
And play
yeah,
some games.
And play some games. Once in a while, you might have like a little.
When I was
mischievous
younger, I would have
action.
probably gotten into fights here for sure. Because I'm like super competitive, but before I would like let it get a hold of me. And like playing games, if I'm like losing,
I'm
and
glad
I
you
don't
worked
think I
out your
should be
demons,
losing-
Dan.
Yeah, no, I'm chill now. I'm
So-
totally chill now.
But you're right. I'm like the whole crowd. People come with their groups. They're hanging out and they're just having fun. Nobody's. Actually, I haven't seen anybody hook up either. It's kind of hurts my heart a little bit.
All
I mean,
right,
it's
well-
been 4 months. I'd like to see
You
somebody.
mean like doing stuff in the corner? Or
No, I
something
mean
like that?
maybe a guy hit on a girl and maybe he gets
You
her
don't
number.
see any of
I don't
that?
see any of that.
Really?
So we are a little bit more
We need to talk,
restauranty.
dude.
Yeah, it's a little bit
We'll
more
work on it, like-
restauranty in the culture.
We'll come back
And
here another
I'm gonna
time. Me and Gabe will make some. Well, you have a girlfriend, but
I'll bring some jams, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Jams?
Start like lighting it up a little bit.
like you'll just bring Usher on your phone and play it on the speaker.
Whatever it takes, dude. Whatever it takes.
I will preface that by saying we did see some hooking up on Pride. But that's,
Oh, yeah.
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 Inside the store.
And there's a lot of stuff.
Okay,
too.
that is
counts.
like
Definitely
expected.
counts.
I
though.
mean, there were girls with just pasties on and all kinds of fun
I didn't
stuff.
see a lot of that this year.
Yeah, it was
sadly.
here.
Yeah. Last year I was like, wow, I've seen more boobs today than I've ever seen in my whole life. But this year at Pride, I was like, it was all rainy.
Well,
and stuff.
basically, you have the two types of people. You have the people who bundle up and the people who come out in their bathing suit. I mean,
Yeah.
those are really the two things.
I saw a lot of dudes like in their undies,
Yeah, you're going to see that.
but like more than usual because they're like, it's raining. I don't want my clothes to get more wet. I'm just gonna strip down. I'm like, all right, dude.
Sure,
This
Dan.
is your day, buddy.
Whatever you say, buddy. So, you want to get to your favorite section?
The Twitter questions already? I feel like we're like, how long have we been rolling?
I put a few more on there this time.
Oh, so we got extra Twitter
We
questions.
got,
All right.
And you are with
And
your
we
second
can
beer.
we can keep talking after that. Like, by the way, Dan, Twitter questions don't mean we have to end.
That's generally how it
He
works,
gets
though.
so weird about this part of the show. Like, he gives me crap.
Only
because
because you make it weird, buddy. Okay, first question is from @Campachis_chakra. My sister and I love tabletop gaming. That is one of your first stops when we. This is one of your first stops when you come to Hillcrest. So that's not really a question.
Is that a statement?
That's a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was nice.
So
to put that in there.
that's sweet.
Yeah.
This is one of their first stops.
Well,
This is
thank
part
you, Kempachi_.
This is
Chakra.
what this is
Yeah.
part of what I meant when I said we got a lot of love. Like when I announced that you guys are going to be on.
People are stoked on this. Why not your last stop too? Just make a whole loop. Kempachi's Chakra.
Call her out.
That is one thing I want everybody to know is we are open till 1 and we have liquor pouring all night. So instead of going to that dive bar down the street, come here. And we just started doing $3 wells as far as
Nice.
late night happy hour because I want people to stay, hang out. And I want this to be a bar. I want to have some regulars, people who know each other, and just get more involved in the community and that kind of thing rather than, people only come and eat and then maybe they hang out for a couple hours, but then they go. I'd like to see some more people come in here late night and hang out.
By the way, should we talk about what we're drinking?
We already
We
did.
did.
That was like the first thing we did.
Never mind then.
Yeah, we should do that, but we already did, so we're good, dude.
Keep it moving.
One comment: you guys have a ton of games, and it's all different varieties too. Like I'm seeing some Hungry Hippos down there. We already talked about the Killer Bunnies. Like, there's like anything you would want to play is here.
Yeah, and like when I mentioned Villainous Lair, you guys mentioned Villainous Lair, I sat down with Allison and Chris and another friend of mine, and we put together a list of a solid 100 games where, 20 of them, these are beginner games. These are games that are just kind of for people who never play games. Then we had that big group of middle kind of entry-level games where your Settlers of Catan and your Carcassonnes, and these ones all kind of come into play. And then I got a couple hardcore games that I have not seen anybody play.
Such as?
Diplomacy. No one's actually touched Diplomacy. Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones one's funny because you'll see a group of girls and they'll wander up to the shelves and they'll look scared, and then they pick up the Game of Thrones game
Like, oh,
and
Game
they go
of
take
Thrones,
it down.
we love
And I'm
that
just
show.
and I watch and I'm just like, they're gonna go put that back in 3 minutes, and they're gonna go pick up Hungry Hippos because they see Game of Thrones and they think, oh, we can play this, but that's a complicated
I love
game.
her.
Yeah.
So one of the things that a lot of the game board cafes have kind of there are actually other game board cafes in other cities.
In San Diego.
Not in San Diego. In other cities.
So you're
And-
like owning it right now.
yeah, all of the as far as the San Diego game bar market goes. But in like Canada and like Southeast Asia, they have apparently a lot of these game board
So the
cafes.
competition's like few and far between.
Yeah.
Here,
But it's just they make a point of saying you have to have a lot of simple games because most of your customers who are coming in here, they're not necessarily big gamers, and they're not going to want to sit down for a 4-hour game. So I want to have a little bit of everything. So the simple games like your Jengas and your Cards Against Humanities, they get played every day.
Oh yeah.
You won me over with Star Wars Operation, dude.
Star Wars.
Like,
Yeah, we had to have some Star Wars stuff.
That's it. I mean,
Heck
end of story.
Do you ever have people just pull down some of these figurines and just play with those?
The original plan of the figurines was we were going to use them like, how some places give you a number.
Like
number
to mark your
34.
table, yeah.
So we were going to do that, and that's how we'd find your table.
Yeah.
We did that for about 2 weeks before we had to do something better.
Why? That sucks.
Were people like trying to steal them or
lightsabers all
anything?
No, but
Groupie and
now we
stuff,
actually
yeah.
gave the tables actual numbers, so it's a little bit easier that way.
Yeah. That's an awesome idea, though.
So now they're just here, and these guys have had an inordinate amount of gay sex every day.
That's like the thing that
That's
people
the
are
thing
like,
that
hey,
people-
look, it's
yeah.
Obi-Wan
And
and
he's
the
getting
Joker.
a little old. His lightsaber's sagging a little bit.
I know, I noticed that. It's like, sorry, bud.
They've been through a lot.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Keep it up, Obi-Wan.
Drooping, homie. All right, next one is from @Jackknife505. Have you seen any ups and downs in tabletop gaming, or has it been pretty steady?
Well, I guess the question's in relative to here. We certainly had a honeymoon period that first month where people were just eating it up. We had crowds the first week, the first month. Then there was that fall off of like, oh, we've been there, we don't need to go back for a while. So now we're picking back up, and it's been a steady growth. And
It might just be a season thing too.
well,
maybe. I mean, I don't know,
but I mean, generally there is a honeymoon period for new restaurants. It's a new restaurant,
most
people want
things,
to check it
yeah.
out. So we're building back up, and like I said, I'm just going to try to do more things about getting more people in here later and getting more people in here on Saturday day.
Spreading
and
the
doing,
word
doing
about
some
it,
more
yeah.
stuff. Obviously, as we exist longer, the more people who know about us.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So it's getting there, and hopefully soon I can maybe take a break, take a vacation someday.
You
One
deserve
day.
one, man. We'll take you to Comic-Con, okay?
Oh, I don't think that counts as vacation.
3 years from now, we'll go to Comic-Con together. What kind of food do you guys have here?
We have your traditional bar food, but we try to do everything a little bit better. So, I mean, we have fries and stuff, but we have our poutine, but instead
dude,
of
you guys
just
have poutine?
a traditional
Pootie-tang.
chicken gravy, we do like a nice Monterey Jack and Fontina cheese sauce.
Oh my God.
Chicharrondas, and then 3 different kinds of meat. So, everything we do, we try to just
Sign
do
me
it
up, man.
better than in my opinion, there's just nothing that we should ever just kind of do half-ass or just kind of barely do. We
Yeah.
should just, whatever it is, we should be trying our best to go
Next to that, dude.
go all the way for it.
Respect.
Is that Miguel, though?
That is my chef, Miguel Valdez.
Awesome. I'm not sure if I can say his name. I don't know.
Whatever.
That is not a difficult one, Gabe.
I'm
Give it a shot. Just Valdez. You're not even
No,
gonna
I
try.
say Miguel.
Oh, Miguel.
I know Valdez.
You should know Miguel.
I didn't know if you wanted his name on the.
Oh,
Whatever.
okay, I thought you
dude.
meant like pronunciation.
Goodness gracious.
like, dang,
this
Gabe.
guy.
All
I'm
right,
sorry,
don't read the
folks.
questions, man.
Questions?
All right. Next question. First off, though, poutine I just recently got into. I just had it for the first time about like 6 months ago, and where has it been all my life? Like nobody in San Diego has poutine. Have you had
There is
poutine?
actually
I've had poutine, but my parents
real
were also
good.
really weird.
You what?
We went to this place up in Irvine one time just
Yeah.
for that. It was really, really weird. And I remember it was like a thing. Like, that's actually how I know poutine, as I remember, like, the day we went to get poutine. I remember just being like,
Your family is like,
Like,
we're
what
going
are
to
we
take this
doing? Like-
long journey to get poutine.
we're going to Disneyland? No, we're going to get poutine. I'm like, okay, this must be, like, pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I should try it again.
it is pretty damn good.
Okay.
Yeah. I've never had it here, but I imagine it's rad. All right, next one is from @GoGetDanny_47. Have you ever thought about having tabletop drinking games? By the way, if D-Lot ever plays a show there, count me the hell in.
So we have thought about tabletop drinking games, and I guess this is actually my first official announcement. We are starting our own version of Magic the Gathering sealed deck and draft formats that are going to be focused on, well, not focused, but if you are a drinker, you will have an advantage over your player based on the kind of rules we're going to put into place.
Hell yeah.
Right on.
And I've talked to a lot of Magic players, and originally I wanted to stay away from Magic. I wanted to stay away from some of the hobby games that are harder to get into or more expensive
Yeah.
to get into.
Yeah.
And I obviously didn't want to have Magic cards all over the place. But for this format, this will be for the players who want to just kind of hang out and have fun. You still get to keep your cards and everything, and it's still going to be a real serious game. But if you are a drinker, you will have some advantages over your non-drinking opponents.
Go on. Like, what advantages do you get?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I gotta
Like, chug this beer and you get extra mana.
I gotta, go play test it a couple times with the host that I brought in.
Yeah.
But my idea right now is just we're gonna create a pool of cards on the side, and any time during the game you can drink a shot and you can play that card right now. And
That's pretty tight.
it's enough that it's not going to break the game. These are going to be like...
It might break the human,
commons.
though.
They're going to be common cards. They're not going to be game breakers. But if you play 4 of those cards throughout the game and your opponent plays 0, there's a good chance you're going to win.
Yeah,
so
that can help for
you
sure.
might be a little drunk, but you might win. You might not win the next game.
You're only going for one. You got to get that
You
one
heard it first
victory.
right here on the D-Lot Show.
And
Yeah.
also, we're doing a whole league of other games. And more information will be coming out on Facebook.
Awesome.
In the next week or so. But we'll be doing similar things with all the rest of the games. We'll say pick any game you want: King of Tokyo, Splendor, Catan. There will be a rule that says when you buy a drink, you get an advantage. And we'll make sure it's not game breaking, but it'll be something to be fun for everybody.
Yeah.
And just once again, to increase the social aspect and more the club, not club like, but like social club and more meeting people and hanging out here. And I just really want this place to be like there's always something going on here, and if you're bored on Saturday, you can come to Tabletop and there's something going on.
By the way,
awesome.
Go get Danny 47. Thank you for the plug too, man. So and thank you for watching the show.
Yeah. Thanks, Danny. Next question is, hi Tabletop. It's so cool to hear about you. I'll be visiting Southern California soon, and I would like to know what is the best way to connect with other tabletop gamers.
Well, here I would.
Sorry, that is from @minimalgenues.
Hi, Minimal Genues.
I think that's genius.
Or
Genius?
Jenny Us.
I think.
Jenny Us, yeah. One of those three options. I had some beer, don't worry.
Here we actually have nice little open table signs. And
like that's like come join us.
Yeah, like come join us.
That is
so
awesome.
If you sit down and you're setting up a game and you want to say have 3 more players because maybe your game is better with 5 players.
Yeah.
You set this up and hopefully we can get to the point where there's people who are looking for open tables and they'll come join you. And this is something that I hope to keep building over the next couple months so that we have more of those people who are looking to join. Also, I've been in talks with a website developer about how do I set up a forum or something where people can post that they want to play this game on this date and look for more people to play with. Unfortunately, it's a little bit cost prohibitive to set up a whole
server. Just do it on Reddit
forum.
right now. Yeah.
So doing it on Facebook or Reddit or something is easy and cheap, but so I'm looking for those options to see what I can do. And if you guys have any ideas, please shoot it at me, because I want to set it up where people can find gamers they want to play with, and they can just meet here. They don't have to bring their own games. I have the games. You don't have to bring anything because it's all here.
That's awesome. I noticed this one is the green one, open table, like anybody can roll up. This is yellow, like if you know the rules, show up. Do you have a red one?
I thought about a red one.
Piss off, dude. We don't need anyone.
Like, yeah, we're on a date. Leave us alone.
Wait. What are the colors? I don't get it.
Like stoplights, traffic lights, bro. Like green, come on in.
Dude,
Yellow, like hey, if you know the rules, then you can. And then red is just like don't.
That's awesome.
Don't even talk to us. We don't need
That's
you.
pretty cool.
All right. Last question is from @thedustkeeper with underscores between each word.
I remember this one.
This is a long one. Oh, wow. Okay. D-Lot and Tabletop. This is awesome. This is Katie, by the way, one of your loyal players. Do you know Katie?
Do you know Katie?
I probably know her by sight.
Yeah. First off, thank you for making such a great environment. But my question would be, what are the games that you wish people played more of, and what are the games you wish people played less of?
I'd like to see a little bit less just Cards Against Humanity.
That's the easy one, yeah.
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity is what people they go for. And if you're here with a group of 12 people, I mean, you can all play.
To jump in.
Yeah, and everybody knows it and that kind of thing. What I would like to see more of, I'd like to see more of like the serious gaming. Like there's a game called Twilight Imperium that if you really want to, you can stretch that game out for 3 days.
Dang.
It's a rough thing. And I have some guys who come in here, they'll bust out the serious games. They'll bring in their own games and sit there and play for hours.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of like to see a little bit more of that, but not too much, especially on Friday and Saturday night. I guess it's hard to say that I can't necessarily care what people play, because as long as they're happy, I mean, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And for the most part, most of the gamers, they want to play simple, easier to play games that maybe they can play 4 times in an hour or something.
I mean, drinking kind of inhibits your ability to play complicated games.
I play very serious games, and I drink vodka.
hammered.
See, I'm on that level. I'm
saying
like,
for the average game player.
I'm like that redneck. Like, I play better when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I am, dude. I really am. Like, I remember this.
Why does it have to be a redneck? I mean, I play better
like,
when
I drive better when I'm drunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not me personally, but that's what people say.
That's
Like,
what my dad always said. He's not a redneck.
Your dad's not a redneck? I thought you said he was a redneck.
Nope.
Anyways, no, true story right now. I remember playing Uncharted 1, 100% sober. so like the first one was so hard for me.
Could not do it.
Just could not do it. And I love the game. I love the environments. Love the characters. And then I remember I was at my buddy's house and we were like tipping a few back. I wouldn't say I was necessarily like drunk.
Yeah.
But it was like something changed where I just wasn't. I was more like the edge was gone. I was thinking differently.
Yeah.
And I just was blazing through that game. And I remember that was like when it hit me. I was on the first Uncharted, and I was like, I started
I drive
applying
better when
that.
I'm drunk.
Portal 2, same thing. I like just breeze through Portal 2. Like when I'm just like toasted.
When you got a good buzz going?
I'm just like, I'm like, oh, sick.
Interesting.
Got this puzzle. It's weird. Zelda, same thing. So I don't know.
So one of the games I'm into right now is Dota 2, and I can say wholeheartedly, I do not get better when I drink at Dota 2. So when it's 3 a.m. and I'm playing, I'm probably losing for our team.
It has to be what the game is too, though. I think I'd be really bad at card games if I was drunk. I would be really bad. I think it has to be like thinking games. Like if I just think differently, I'm like more open to try
Dota 2 is like reaction time and knowing what's going on in your opponent.
Yeah, I'd probably
and
be
knowing
really
what's
bad
going on
at
the other side of the map,
and, like, map awareness,
all that's it was just too much. But like when I play hockey, I just get so smooth and just I'll start taking half court shots for no reason, half rink shots, and they'll
Big
go
hockey guy
in.
over here.
You know me.
It's San Diego.
Yeah.
What's hockey?
Yeah.
I've heard of this.
I didn't even learn what
Anomaly.
offsides was until I was 29. So
That's rad. So yeah, dude, I'm really happy that this exists in San Diego.
We need more stuff like this.
We absolutely need more
we
stuff
do not
like this.
need more stuff like this.
We do not need more
This
stuff
needs
like
to be
this in
the
San
only
Diego.
one.
Well, we need more stuff like this, but
not this.
exactly this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different categories.
Different categories.
Just come here. Yeah. Are you guys ever do you consider branching out into other avenues of gaming? Is it only going to be it's called Tabletop Commons, obviously.
It is called Tabletop Commons. Upstairs, we have a Wii U. We've had a Smash Brothers tournament. We have a meetup group called Couch Conflict that comes in here on Wednesday nights.
Couch Conflict, yeah.
They were just here last night, and they bring in their own consoles, and they play games, which anybody's welcome to join on Wednesday night, 6:30, I think. So, I've thought about like putting more TVs upstairs, more console systems. But for now, I'm going to stick with the tabletop business model. I want to get more involved in online stuff. Maybe I can steal your producer away from you and start doing my own blog type stuff.
Sounds
We'll
good.
figure something out.
Someday.
Sign him up.
It's the plan.
He'll
someday.
work for free. Yeah.
Once I'm not here every day doing stuff for this business or on this location, maybe I can take some time to do other things. But right now, this is the plan. And once we're profitable, which should be this month or next month,
nice.
To turn from nothing into a profitable business in 4 to 5 months.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah. And then I might just branch out to another city. I'm not going to name any names or anything, but if I had
Don't steal that idea.
maybe even another one in San Diego. Like I don't know if San Diego
awesome.
can handle another one.
Maybe like East County, like in La Mesa or something.
La Mesa or like Carlsbad or like
North
downtown.
County could use one too.
I live down in Imperial Beach, but I don't think Chula Vista would want one.
No.
I'm not sure what Chula Vista wants. If you're from Chula Vista, you know what they want.
Chula Vista wants.
They want taco shops. Yeah.
For now it's just this, and we'll see what happens in the next couple months as far as what my time and my what I'm doing with my life to see what's next as far as for this.
I will say, I hope this is not a bad omen, but I know a lot of people that run restaurants and businesses and stuff, and they are like, yeah, I've been doing this 10 years and I still don't have any days off. And I'm like, well, that sucks for you.
Well, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Or maybe they're doing it right. I don't know. I don't know if this works.
If you love it, you love it.
Yeah. I also don't think that they were profitable within 4 months. So
yeah.
You're kicking ass in some regard.
We're all technically self-employed. We're all living off. And we were talking about this before the show as well, how sometimes you get so stressed, but what's kind of awesome, you just take time to sit back and be like, oh man, like I'm stressed. For me, like I'm stressed out about like when I'm gonna play my next show so I can make money. That's kind of awesome. Like as much as it
Instead
sucks,
of like I'm
being
stressed that I have
out-
to go see my boss tomorrow that I hate. Yeah.
Like as much as it sucks that you're stressed because you got to pay rent and like money's tight.
Yeah,
at the
it
same
really
time, you're
sucks, for
like, wow,
sure.
like I need to go book a show so I can play my like that's awesome. Like
Go do what you love,
go
guys.
do what you love. You know.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a pretty good. I mean, considering we're sitting here drinking beer
Yeah.
and talking.
Past tense. We
on
finished ours.
microphones. Your second ones, by the way.
Yeah.
Free. And I mean, I feel the same way because my job before this, I was working in a mailroom at a financial services company, and I was a temporary worker. That was with my bachelor's degree in economics, working in a mailroom, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? You're like, okay, if I just do this for 5 more years.
Oh God.
And then, but because of the situation, I was a temp worker. They just let me go one day. Like I came home and there was a message said, "Bye, we don't need you anymore." And it's like, oh, well, that sucks. I guess I'll.
That's
go.
okay. I was gonna go open a gaming store anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking about that the other day. And,
Thanks for giving me the kick in the butt I needed. Yeah. Oh God.
that's awesome, dude.
5 years in a mailroom is just like. That kind of put me in a crappy mood, honestly. I'm like, that's like a 15th of one's life.
Yeah, I mean, like that was my first job out of college, and it was 8 hours a day, and I've never worked an 8-hour day before because before I went to college, I was in sales.
Yeah.
And sales is fine. Some days
You like
you only
take
work,
lunches
you only
and
work
stuff,
4
yeah.
hours. Sometimes you work 8 hours. Sometimes you work 12 hours.
You're always
but,
taking long lunches,
you're talking
too.
to
Yeah.
people, you're having fun, you're laughing.
Yeah.
Whereas this is, I'm opening packages and scanning them, and then I'm doing data entry for 8 hours. And like that first week, the 8 hours is a long ass time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you haven't worked in
Put
a
a
while.
podcast on or something. Yeah. Or like 5 podcasts.
That's where I learned about, like, I don't know if you guys know John Green or Hank
Oh,
Green.
yeah.
That's where I found all his stuff because I started going on YouTube looking for stuff to engage myself while I'm doing data entry for hours.
Right on.
The worst thing ever, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so where can people find your stuff online?
Tabletopcommons.com is the
simple.
easiest place. Obviously, Facebook. Not totally great at Instagram, but we're getting there. I never had used Instagram before, so I'm still kind of learning how to use it for
Yeah.
any practical purpose.
Yeah.
Obviously, Twitter, all the big social medias. Other than that, come on down, say hi. If you are a person who wants to host anything, if you want to host a tournament, if you want to host a game night, give me a call, send me a text. I'm not going to give my phone number. Tabletopcommons@gmail.com.
We'll give it to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put all your links up there too, man. So
Yeah.
people can just
If you want to send me an email, just tabletopcommons@gmail.com. I check that every day, so that's how you get a hold of me.
cool, man.
Last thing I want to ask you is, like, if somebody else wants to do this in another city around the country or has aspirations to do something similar, what kind of words of advice do you have for them?
I mean, the ones that are currently in other cities, they're more cafes. They're not bars like I'm trying to turn this into.
Yeah.
So I would suggest do all your research. I mean, I have a master's in business and I still am learning how to do everything. So if you first off go work in a location that is similar to what you want to do, don't just cannonball in like I did. It's been a hell of a journey.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't work in a bar before opening this bar. Now looking back, I'm like, why didn't I work in a bar?
Yeah, that would have
Why
been
didn't
great research, yeah.
Why didn't I do that? So make sure you go work in a location that is similar or close to, or at least learn something that's you can use for this. So that would be my biggest piece. Like, if you have not worked in a bar and you're just like, I'm going to open a bar, don't do that.
Trial by fire, yeah.
Do not do that.
That's pretty much all I can say really about that.
Do your research,
Do
basically.
your research, put in your time, and as long as you keep caring, you should be successful.
Cool.
Well, let's end it on that. That's beautiful.
Awesome.
That was
man.
deep.
Boom.
Thank you so much, man, for coming out.
Thank you,
Thank
Evan.
you for coming.
Oh yeah, dude. I love a guy who
he
nuts.
initiated the nug.
I know, dude. That's
Wow,
awesome.
it's usually Gabe that makes it awkward at the end. Boom. Shades on. Find some butter.
Shades on. Find some butter.
Find some butter.
Find some butter.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the D-Light Show.
How much would I have to pay you to drink like a a full cup of butter. I'd probably just do that actually.
$8,000.
No, I'd probably just do it.
That'd
for
be
like,
my price. I'd do it for 8,000.
I would do it for 8,000 in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
No,
8,000.
like real time. How much would I have to pay you to drink?
8,000.
Like, really?
Yeah.
That's way too
anything
much.
less. No, it's not. Anything less, I wouldn't do it.
Why? Like for like the health repercussions?
Yeah. 8,000.
I'd do it for like $8. Oops. I'd do it for like $8.
You do it for tacos. You do it for rent.
I would pour it. Yeah. Oh,
You would
for
do it-
rent? Yeah.
You would
for
do
like,
it for monthly rent.
For like a
dude,
couple
for
$100 bucks. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for watching the
Oh,
D-Light
yeah,
Show, guys.
And
And go out there and drink some butter.
Mm-hmm.
Drink some butter. Drink some butter.
Eat some taters.
Eat some taters.
Find this guy at dlodband.com.
Why do you always say guy? You're there too.
Well,
We do the show together.
I'm not featured as heavily. That's why. Find mostly this guy and a little bit of me at dlodband.com.
Check out Battlecast at Battlecast Show.
See?
everything.
Now you can say check this guy out at that.
Check this guy out at
Battlecast
Battlecast Show.
Show.
Everything.
Yeah. .com.
Hashtag
Twitter,
Battlecast Show at
yeah.
Battlecast Show.
Facebook.
Only one
Battlecast
there
Show.
is. Prime time. Check it out.
iTunes.
iTunes.
It's a dang fine show.
It is.
Yeah.
Really proud of
I'm a
him.
big fan of it.
So
And I'm on it. And
Check
I
him
hate
out.
everything I do. So
and everything will be right with the
Awesome.
world. And see you later, dude.
yeah, peace out, buddy.
Peace out.
Keep rubbing.
This has been the Digital Lizards of Doom show live at Meltdown.